So now I'm going to take you from this coronavirus back a long time in something very simple, to the common cold. And I used to give this lecture and people get very bored when we talk about the common cold, but this has become really important. So the common cold is just a general clinical syndrome, and it's caused by many different types of viruses. And people knew that there are many different viruses, and I list some of them there. That you can get, rhinovirus is probably the most common cause of the common cold. Other viruses like RSV, which you might have heard about, causes infections in babies. There was this whole slew of viruses, and that's what they thought caused the common cold. But it was clear that a third of the cases, they could not find anything. But these patients, when you took their secretion, so if you took their nasal mucus and put it in another person, they would get sick, but they didn't have one of those viruses. So there was some virus that they couldn't find. And what ended up happening was, in 1960, they had a boy who was able to transmit symptoms from his mucus, and they could not find any type of virus. And it wasn't a bacteria because it went through a filter, and they found a new virus at that time in 1960, and that was the first isolation of a coronavirus in humans. And you can see here on the electron micrograph, it has these little spikes, and that's where it gets its name, kind of like its crown. And then they similarly found a second virus in 1967. And those were the two coronaviruses that were responsible for about a quarter of the cases of the common cold, OC43 and 229E. And that's all we knew about coronaviruses for quite a long time. And we found coronaviruses in many different animals. So lots of, if there are people that work on farms, there are bovine coronaviruses that infect cows. There are pig coronaviruses. And this was a whole family of viruses, but only two were known to infect humans from basically 1960 all the way to 2003. It's a large viral family. It has RNA as its genetic material, and it's something that we had seen for a while. I won't belabor the point of the family and where this all fits, but just to know that it's not this single coronavirus. People keep saying the coronavirus. There is not the coronavirus. It's one member of a large family that we're dealing with. And coronaviruses occur everywhere. They're worldwide, and they usually peak in the winter and spring in temperate areas. So places like the northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere have a temperate climate. You see a peak in the winter and the spring every year. And like I said, they cause about 15 to 25% of the common colds. All of you have had a coronavirus infection in your life, just not this coronavirus. So it's really important to remember that, because people don't quite get that idea that the coronaviruses have always been around. It's just we found a new one that seems to be a little bit more severe. And you get reinfected with coronaviruses because antibodies fall. So that's what we know about coronaviruses, and it's really common in children. Children can have mild symptoms, but they get them. Everybody gets coronaviruses.